Warm welcome to the Scottish Learning Festival 2022. I'm especially delighted to see you all here after what has been a very difficult couple of weeks for the whole nation following the passing of Her Majesty the Queen. Your commitment to SLF is yet another reflection of the dedication of this wonderful profession. I'm really excited to welcome you to this year's SLF. Last year, we took our Learning Festival entirely online, offering a live seminar, lots of sessions, keynotes and spotlights over the 3 days in a totally online environment. I was pleased to see thousands of colleagues from across the education system take part, share, learn, listen and inspire each other in this new and unique experience. As with anything new, it's so important to reflect on what worked well and consider how we can move forward and adapt to develop for an even better experience. By actively listening to your feedback, I'm delighted that this year we're able to bring you a new hybrid approach, combining the extremely successful virtual elements of last year with the opportunity once again to come together and engage face-to-face in smaller groups. Throughout our 6 satellite events across Scotland and our inspiring online programme, we've been able to put several of your suggestions into action this year. Over the past few years, you have continued to be flexible and to adapt to an ever-changing environment in order to support our children and young people. I'm so proud of everything that's been achieved so far and excited to see our education system here in Scotland strengthen, grow and develop as it will inevitably do in the coming months and years. At Education Scotland, our focus is going forward will be on the educational reform agenda, and we welcome this journey of change. We have committed to supporting the Scottish Government on this reform agenda when by 2024 there'll be a new agency and a new inspection body. This means there'll be lots of engagement, lots of opportunities with you and with the wider education profession to discuss, to shape and to design this collectively for a better future. We want to work with the Scottish Government to build an education system that supports every educator and every learner in Scotland. I'm proud of the work that we at Education Scotland do in supporting Scotland's children and young people, and I see this reform as an opportunity to build on that good work, but also to change, to develop, and to create a strong focus on participation and empowerment so that we as a profession lead the way for the system. It's really important that our work to support the profession continues during the transition period between now and April 2024, and we're committed to listening and working not only with children and young people and older learners, but essentially with teachers and local authorities to maintain support locally, alongside the national ongoing delivery of our programmes, of our professional learning, and to work with the Scottish Government and stakeholders to deliver the best that we can in terms of the upcoming reform agenda. We recently refreshed the Scottish Attainment Challenge and work linked to the new curriculum review. There's a new focus on working directly with local authorities to provide bespoke support and challenge. Therefore, there'll be lots of opportunities to work directly with many of you over the coming months, and I look forward to what we can collectively achieve together for Scotland's learners. I also believe that these areas of work have a crucial part to play in achieving the vision for Scotland's education system, and that we have a real opportunity in front of us to make a positive impact. To ensure that we focus on these key areas of work, we've refreshed our corporate plan. Our updated plan sets out our priorities for the next 2 years running up to the new agencies coming into being. And there are 4 key areas of work: the curriculum review, our attainment challenge, which includes our framework for recovery and accelerating progress, and the inspection programme. So core elements that you'll become familiar with and many of you are already involved in. This is in addition to the reform agenda and the work we'll take forward together with the Scottish Government and key stakeholders, and importantly yourselves. And this will help to take forward the wider work on the OECD review priorities to help us as a country move forward on core areas, teaching and learning, curriculum, assessment. In particular, we have some exciting opportunities happening now and in the coming months. This includes the launch of the Building Racial Literacy Professional Learning Programme to promote anti-racism as a baseline professional value, empowering educators to identify and implement anti-racist behaviours and processes in their everyday practice. As part of the wider programme of work on race equality and anti-racism, Building Racial Literacy has been co-designed with a range of our partners, including the Coalition for Racial Equality and Rights, the Scottish Association for Minority Ethnic Educators, Third Generation Project, ScotDec, and the University of Scotland. 73 professionals successfully completed the programme in March 2022, and we have developed personalised anti-racist education plans to implement in their own context and in their own settings. It's so wonderful to hear those educators talk about feeling more confident to deal with and talk about racism, eager to continue deepening their increased understanding of racism, and that they have been inspired and motivated to commit to anti-racist action in their different settings. A further 250 new professionals are joining the programme this year, and I'm excited to see where this work leads us, involving more young people in the ongoing developments of the programme and with the long-term aim of ensuring that every educator in Scotland is racially literate and not race evasive. We need to shift race evasive cultures to anti-racist cultures, where there is an anti-racist leadership and where any learner, staff member, parent, carer, or wider community member who experiences racism is supported and empowered and feels they can speak out. Everything we do in education is the reason that we're here. It's all about young people. That's what our focus is. And the theme of this year's festival is Being Me, Being Us, placing learners at the heart of Scottish education. In February 2020, we published the Realising the Ambition Being Me National Guidance. It feels almost like a lifetime ago now, but the aim of that guidance remains key to everything that we want to achieve within Scottish education. Our learners deserve the very best care and experiences throughout their learning journey, before birth and beyond. And this aim is shared by all those who work so tirelessly to help deliver education in Scotland. Despite its timing during COVID, since its launch, Realising the Ambition has been one of the most significant publications that we ever produced. Practitioners in early learning and childcare and primary education regularly share their experiences in implementing the guidance, and we are beginning to see the initial impact of Being Me in practice. And we see that the common theme of putting learners at the heart being reflected again in the work to embed the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. Children and young people are the reason I chose the career I did. I'm sure you are the same. I'm passionate about their learning, but also about their rights and well-being. I'm really proud to say, along with 20 originals, that I'm an Unfearty. Unfearties are individuals who are courageous in discussing children's issues, are making a difference in children's lives, and who are willing to speak up for and stand alongside our children. Over the previous academic year, approximately 2,000 of you have taken part in over 100 professional learning sessions led by Education Scotland on the UNCRC. This has included local authority leads, practitioners from across all of our sectors in early learning and childcare, schools, CLD and post-16. A significant part of this work has been to train the trainers, to build capacity in the system with which to share and embed learning even further. Professionals who've taken part in the programme have a virtual collaborative space and regular opportunities to meet up virtually or face-to-face and engage in professional dialogue. That's so essential. If we talk about the UNCRC, we can then exemplify, live it and deliver it. We've also seen a real drive to support the system to understand how the UNCRC links to professional learning, curriculum innovation, creativity, and developing the young workforce. It's great to see such commitment to deliver what is such an important piece of legislation, hopefully implemented and passed very soon. It's really important that we all learn about this and do our best to live it and support our young people. This year, we've also seen the Young Leaders of Learning programme being relaunched following on from the pandemic in both a face-to-face and a virtual way. The Young Leaders of Learning programme has been co-designed with learners and practitioners and aims to involve children and young people in school improvement activity, giving them a greater say in their education and school setting. Meaningful dialogue with young people is about giving children and young people a greater say in their education and schools. I believe this is something that we should all strive for in everything that we do, and links well and obviously to the UNCRC Convention on the Rights of the Child, particularly under Articles 12 and 13, respect for children's views and sharing thoughts freely. All of us have the pleasure of engaging with and hearing from our young people every day about what they've learned, what they're passionate about, and what we can do to help make their education experience that much better. We can't forget as we move forward, though, through reform about their needs now and long into the future. They've had a difficult few years, and we've need to be careful not to leave everything behind that's good about our education as we go through reform. We need to try and build on the successes, but also focus on what needs to change. I know that that's what you do on a daily basis in your settings. That's what happens at local authority and regional levels, and also that's replicated on a national level. Over the past 2 years of the pandemic, we've learned many things about education. One of the main lessons has been about the strength and the strengthening of the role of humanity, central to our profession. The role of humanity in education is a crucial message across all settings, sectors, age groups, adult learners, young learners, all phases and stages. That humanity that you delivered during COVID, that engagement with families, with communities, and ensuring that none of our young people were let down really stands you in good stead for this. And that's why the Scottish Learning Festival's theme is central and is focused on strengthening our commitment to put our learners at the heart of Scottish education. If we can do that in our settings, in our classrooms, in our community centres, in our outdoor learning centres, and wherever learning and engagements take place, it's really important that we then make sure we continue that as we move forward in the work that we all have that lies ahead of us. We've tried to have learners central at all stages of this Scottish Learning Festival. For the first time in planning for the Scottish Learning Festival, we've had a young person's think tank made up of learners from across Scotland. This group have met several times to exchange information and ideas about what the festival should be like. And it's really great that they've given their views about what it's like to be in Scottish education. The difference that they've made in us planning and shaping the approach to this year's event is really quite significant. And our online seminar programme asked, one of the criteria for having a seminar was that learners be part of that process and the development of each session, and that consideration be given to having learners participate and be part of the facilitation team. And you'll see that as you attend various seminars across the next couple of days. We want to make sure that the learners' thoughts and ideas are heard and valued, and importantly, actioned. The Learners' Voice Group's contribution will feed into our much anticipated learner keynote later on today, where we're delighted to hear their views about what it means to be them in Scottish education, what experiences, highlights and challenges they have faced. So therefore we can listen and learn and reflect on what we need to do better, what we can do and build on good practice, but equally what they'd like to see as we support their education over the next few years. Speaking of highlights, I just wanted to take a moment today out of this little speech for you to say good luck to Dunoon Grammar. Dunoon Grammar School today has been shortlisted for the world's best school prize for community collaboration. They're the only school in the UK who've been shortlisted to the top 10 globally, and later this morning they'll find out if they've made the final 3. This is a huge accomplishment and another testament of how the hard work and dedication of educators across Scotland really focuses on supporting our children and young people and is making a real difference. So very best of luck to Dunoon Grammar. Reflecting back on last year, the eyes of the world turned to Glasgow when we hosted COP26, the United Nations Conference on Climate Change. Amidst the complex negotiations between world leaders, what really stood out were the voices of young people from across the world, many of whom came here and stood with our young people here in Scotland or in virtual forums. And together, these young people demanded urgent action for the planet and their future. Professor Muir's report states that the current generation of learners see climate change as one of the most significant issues facing their futures, and as such must be recognised as a key driver influencing the future of our education system. If we are truly to put learners at the centre of Scottish education, we need to listen to their concerns and help gain the knowledge, skills and agency to build a better, more just and truly sustainable future. I know that many of you are working with your students, with your young people, with your children on doing just that. And on that note, why don't we hear from some young people reflecting on what they are truly passionate about?
It's important for people to learn about climate change. They understand the impact our actions have for the future.
Our planet is a living thing. We should take care of it.
There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals. These goals all link with the rights of the child, and we need to know all of these to stop climate change and have world peace.
Climate change is polluting our towns and cities and is destroying the world. If we don't educate our young people on how to change, then change will not happen.
Listen up. Young people need to be educated on stuff like food waste, food miles, carbon emissions, and many more. It's destroying our planet, and we don't have a second one. Come on, Scotland, be more like disruptors. Hashtag get on with it.
Everyone needs to play their own part, whether that's recycling, using reusable energy, or cutting down single-use plastics. All developed countries have no excuse for committing to cutting fossil fuel production due to them having the required money.
We need to take action now. There is no second chances. There is no planet B.
Climate change is slowly destroying our planet, but we need to take action in this now. Disruptors, hashtag we are the change.
I think that we should grow our own food and spread awareness.
You, I'm talking to you. It's your generation destroying this planet and it's my generation trying to save it. What are you going to do about it? You need to be more sustainable and take action now. Hashtag get on with it.
Hello, we are pupils from Belbaxter High School and
We are the Global Goals Group.
we represent young people in our school who care about climate change. We do lots of fundraising and community work to improve our planet today and in the future.
Back in March, we raised $1,400 for the Russian-Ukraine crisis.
In October last year, we took part in 1.5 Max, a global schools climate conference, where we created a pledge to reduce single-use plastics in our school and local community.
We are looking forward to launching our BYOB campaign and taking part in the 1.5 Max conference again this November. Together we can make a difference.
The changes in the weather is a big issue. The polar bears have no home or food because the ice caps are melting. Some places are having extreme weather. The sea are too hot or towns are flooding.
We have known about climate change since 1896 and only started to grow concern about it in 1988. And in 2021, there was COP26, a United Nations climate change conference. Our generation has been given the responsibility to save the future of the planet. It is ridiculous that we have not done anything for all of these years and continue to pass down the responsibility of the planet rather than trying to prevent any further.
Sustainability is important to me because we have a bright future, but it's not looking good right now because of climate change.
There are 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Some of these include zero hunger, gender equality, reduced inequalities, climate action, and life on land. We need to know everything about all of the Sustainable Development Goals to help tackle climate change and be more sustainable.
Sustainability is important, not just for now, but for the future of humanity. We need to secure a safe place for the next generation of humans. We need to start being sustainable now.
It's not too late. We can make a difference together.
Climate change is an extremely severe consequence of our own actions, and its consequences will make an intense impact on our lives for generations to come. This is an issue of paramount importance.
Sustainability is important to me because this is my planet and I care about it. So you need to be more sustainable. Hashtag get on with it.
Because I live in Scotland, and if the temperature of the earth keeps rising, Scotland will partially sink underwater because of the ice caps melting and the increasing chance of natural disasters in the near future.
Currently, education is not informing young people about climate change. Young people need to be motivated. They need to be inspired in order to make a change. Climate change is more than just the environment. It's about people, economics and politics. It must be included in the curriculum.
Wasn't that fantastic to hear and to see young people talking so enthusiastically about their passion for learning and improving the world around them, even if it did make some of us feel really quite old, but it is their generation and their call to arms for us. So I know that many of you are working with our young people, with your students, on supporting them in this, but also that was one of my commitments, was actually about being able to voice this for them as an unfairty, to speak up and to share their thoughts and their call to action for you. So I'm making my commitment and seeing that through, actioning their ask of us to make sure that educators in Scotland are aware of how passionate and how central they feel this issue is for them. So thanks to all of our young people for creating that video for us. I really, really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to joining the Cabinet Secretary for the Education and Skills session this afternoon at Carnegie College in Fife later today. The Cabinet Secretary, Shirley-Anne Somerville, is going to hear and introduce more about the national discussion on educational reform. You may have seen some coverage of this a little while ago now, but today launching the national discussion on education reform at this afternoon's session, at this afternoon's session, where you can attend virtually, those of you registered, and equally there is a face-to-face session there as well. And the Cabinet Secretary this afternoon will be joined by Professor Alma Harris and Professor Carol Campbell, well-known names to many of us in Scottish education, to talk about and launch the national discussion. Both Alma and Carol have been appointed as independent advisors to co-facilitate the national discussion. How honoured are we in Scotland to have such experts engaging in this debate with you about the future of Scottish education? As you know, it was June, I think it was about the 14th of June this year that the national discussion was announced. And that was inviting children, young people, families and teachers to join this national discussion on education. This plans to be the most inclusive discussion ever on education in Scotland, with learners playing a key part in decision making. I'm just going to say that again, with our learners playing a key part in decision making. And it's really essential that we have this national conversation, but it becomes regional and local and small and school and classroom conversations so that we capture everyone's views as we move forward. And I'm absolutely delighted that SLF will provide the platform for the official launch. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this informs the wide-ranging plans around educational reform, teaching and learning, curriculum, assessment, the development of the future and the vision for Scottish education as we move forward. I'm privileged to see daily the work that you all do in supporting Scotland's children and young people, and I see reform as an opportunity to continue that good work with a strong focus on developing education in Scotland to be the very best that it can be. And this national discussion plays a key role in informing all the elements of that and ensuring we have coherence and alignment and aspiration as we move forward. Additionally, the Cabinet Secretary for Education and Skills will announce this year's worthy recipient of the Robert Owen Award. As many of you may know, the purpose of the award is to recognise an educator who best exemplifies the vision, principles and values of Robert Owen and who's made a significant contribution to Scottish education. That will be announced this afternoon live in that session. And this will be followed by the group of learners from across Scotland I mentioned earlier, who will share their experiences of what education in Scotland has been like for them so far. They've put that together, having discussed with peers and colleagues and networks across Scotland. So although they are representing their own views, they are representative of the views of all our learners, and I'm intrigued to hear what they have to say. It will be fantastic to be there and to experience that in person. I'm really looking forward to it. The event in Fife is just one of 6 face-to-face satellite events we've organised this year, one in each Regional Improvement Collaborative area across Scotland running over the next couple of days. For each of these events, we have a session focused on debating the current issues and big issues in Scottish education, with the themes themselves coming from our earlier ask about what you wanted to see covered. So these topics have been selected by you. The approach fully embraces the value of varying thoughts, varied opinions that the Scottish education system needs to move forward in its thinking and its practice. So it's about wicked issues with wicked discussions and wicked presenters so that we can collectively move forward. And we've tried to increase the flexibility of how people can engage in SLF. We've organised the main speaking sessions of the satellite events outside of school hours, and we're also live streaming and recording the seminars and keynotes so you can watch them at a time that best suits you or that you can rewatch them. The debates at the satellite sessions will be led by professionals and experts in their field. If you haven't booked a ticket for these, you can join in live as part of the online programme. And I'd really like to extend a special thank you to the colleges and universities who are hosting these satellite events around the country for us. Your support, along with that of our colleagues in the Regional Improvement Collaboratives, is greatly appreciated. Of course, the satellite events are just a few of the sessions happening over the next few days. We also have over 60 online sessions available for you to pick and choose from within the programme, which spans multiple sectors, multiple subjects, multiple themes. And these are our profession, our colleagues, our peers presenting and sharing learning both internationally, nationally and locally. So, you know, Scotland is really sharing its expertise in its aim to inspire and move things forward. And this year we've taken an even more flexible approach to booking the seminars as we understand how busy it is and that each one of you has got so many other things on the go. So for this year, there's a new single registration for the Scottish Learning Festival. After you've done that one single sign-on, which you probably had to do to join today, you can join any seminar of interest to you at any time. It's really flexible and easy for you to use. We realise there's a lot of seminars to choose from, and so sometimes, you know, how do you navigate, how do you know what's on? So we've categorised the sessions into themes and listed the day and time of those sessions. You can find these on the Education Scotland Twitter account, and remember, you don't need to register for these sessions. Just log into the online environment using your code. You go to the main area and join the session when it starts. There's no other palaver for you to have to go through. We've made it as simple as possible. The programme includes 5 spotlight seminars. The themes of these sessions have come directly from feedback from the education workforce, so we hope they'll be really popular with you and a popular addition to the online programme. These spotlight sessions are run by practitioners on the themes that you've asked for, and we really hope that you'll engage with them. The whole of the festival aims to showcase the wonderful educational work happening across Scotland, from the north to the south, from the east to the west, from the islands to the mainland. And they're there to inspire and inform your educational practice and bring everyone together. This is such a valuable and unique opportunity to hear and learn from other educators, from peers, from colleagues, and the range of educational leaders, practitioners and providers, the quality of which we have in Scotland is, internationally recognised. So here's an opportunity to collectively learn and build and create together, to reflect on what learning comes from the different sessions. What are you already doing? What could you change? What could you improve? What can you share about your best practice as well? I always find the sessions at SLF really inspiring, and I know I come away with a refreshed passion for our profession and a real pride in the work that's already underway. It always sparks ideas, follow-up conversations, collaborations that lead to new ways of thinking and working. And I'm always, quite touched by people's openness and willingness to share not only what's working well, but also the mistakes and the back steps they made along the way, which led to even greater success. I'm often humbled by that and that understanding there is across fellow professionals sharing, our challenges and our opportunities, of which, the SLF is a real flagship for that. I'm looking forward to seeing how everyone gets involved in the online programme this year. Last year, we had several schools take the opportunity to get together in assembly halls to watch sessions together, then discuss and debate the topics. Other educators watched on their own devices, or spent time together clustered around a computer. However you choose to do it, let's have the conversation, let's engage, and let's share what's working well and what we need to do to build forward. If you choose to engage with the festival this year, share your pictures, selfies on social media, and use the hashtag #MySLF22. That's hashtag #MySLF22. In addition, we have our new interactive experiences and spaces. These are projects this year that have opened up a totally new avenue of engagement for us, encouraging practitioners to share their ideas and practice in 5 to 10 minute self-recorded videos. Again, this opens up opportunities to learn from each other, listen, reflect, and be inspired. And how brave of our colleagues who've done that. Thank you very much. For example, we have videos on play-based approaches beyond primary 1, using a storyline approach to raise literacy attainment and improving children's wellbeing. These are available to view from the Interactions, Experiences, Spaces arena on the online portal. I've watched all of the videos submitted. I spent a little bit of time last week looking at the videos that have been submitted and can attest to how wonderful they are. You can see them for yourself in the interactions, experiences and spaces area on the online portal. On our online festival environment this year, we have a campfire area where you can connect with colleagues and have those hugely important conversations. There's an opportunity to chat through text or face-to-face through a video call. This area provides a brilliant chance to connect with educators and develop some new ideas and conversations through a shared interest. It's really important that we take these opportunities. We are a rural country in general. Yes, we have cities, but we're also rural. Many of you, work in small settings, in small schools, in small environments, and actually the opportunity to look out and to connect with colleagues is essential to our own professional learning and to the quality of education that we give to our young people. So finally, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everyone involved in this year's SLF. I'd like to thank all the presenters and panel members taking part in our debates over the next few days, whose input is greatly valued, as is the input of every one of our seminar presenters, speakers, partners, support colleagues who've worked so hard to bring you an interesting, thought-provoking and inspiring event. And a huge thanks as well to my own team behind the scenes who are overseeing the technical side and working to coordinate and make sure you have the best experience you can. Thank you for taking part, and I look forward to joining you in many of these events, many of the sessions and the seminars of what's set to be a fantastic couple of days for Scottish education. Let's learn together and move forward collectively for Scotland's learners. Thank you.